Hello everybody, I'm Krishna. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't watched my earlier videos on Intro to Scrum and Intro to Agile, I encourage you to click on the link below and watch it. In this video, I will talk about Sprint Planning Meeting. If you are the product owner, before the Sprint Planning Meeting, you would identify all the backlog items from your release backlog that you would like the team to implement in this sprint. Once you have identified all the backlog items, you would go to the sprint planning meeting and explain each of the backlog items to the team. And you would also be answering all the queries that the team has on these backlog items. Once this is done, each of the backlog items would be picked by one or more team members to analyze it further. If I'm a team member, I would pick up an item and identify all the activities that needs to be done to complete that backlog item. Once I have done with this backlog item, I would go and pick the next backlog item which no one else has picked. And similarly, I would identify all the activities that needs to be done to complete that backlog item. Now this would go on iteratively till all the backlog items identified for this sprint have been analyzed and activities have been identified. Now that we have identified all the activities for the backlog items which the product owner would like us to implement, we will need to do an estimation. Two kinds of estimations can be done. One is an effort-based estimation, or one can do a story point-based estimation. In effort-based estimation, the team will come together and each of the member who had identified activities for that backlog item will explain that backlog item to the entire team and the activities that is needed to complete that backlog item. Once this has been done, each of the team member does an individual estimation and they would write down the figure on a piece of paper. Once everyone is complete with their estimation, each one would read out the effort that they think is needed to complete the backlog item. If the variance among the estimations of the team is greater than 20%, then the person who has graded the highest will explain why is it that he feels so much effort is required to complete it. And the person who has given the least estimation will explain why is it that he thinks that the effort required is this less. This is the time when the team understands each other's perspective. There could be a chance that there is an existing library which the person who estimated the highest effort was not aware. Once the team has understood the reason for the high and the low figures, the team will do another round of estimation. Again, they would compare their effort figures against the rest. If the variance among the team members is again greater than 20%, then they would repeat the exercise. If the variance is less than 20%, then the team would take the average of the effort that is required and go ahead with the next. The team does the same exercise for the next backlog items and so on till they complete all the backlog items that has been given by the product owner. Once the estimation of the backlog items are complete, the team will then identify what is the available effort that they have for the sprint. Once they have identified their available time, the team would pick up those backlog items from the top which would fit into their available time. Those PPIs which the team cannot fit into the current sprint would be communicated to the product owner and there could be a negotiation. In story point estimation, the team is trying to do a relative comparison between a work that they had done earlier to the work that they are doing now. They see whether it is the same or twice the work or thrice the work or 5 times the work or 8 times the work or 13 times the work. For example, let us say that they did a login page together in the earlier project and they allocate the unit of work done to be 1. Now they look at the current work that they are about to estimate and then see whether this work is the same as the earlier work or twice that work or thrice that work or 5 times that work or 8 times that work. Anything more than 8 times would mean that backlog items should be further refined. So similar to the earlier exercise for effort estimation, the team would come together and the person who had broken down the task for the backlog items would explain the backlog item to the rest of the team. The team would have already discussed what would be their baseline from the previous project for comparison. Based on that baseline, each of the team member would give a particular number, whether it is once, twice, thrice, 5 times or 8 times. Now this goes on till the team can converge. The advantage of story point estimation is, for one, because as humans we are wired to compare, it is easier for us to do a comparative estimation than an absolute estimation. And number 2, because we wouldn't be getting into an argument among team members whether something is going to take 20 hours or something is going to take 25 hours. So I think I have covered most of the details of sprint planning meeting and estimation. In case you have any doubts, please comment on the link. If you like this video, please like it and share it. Thank you very much.